So in this video, I'm going to break down our content creator network system, which allows us to get so many different content creators, vet them, and make sure they're right for the brands that we're actually working with. So once you've actually watched this video, you can take this and utilize it for your actual brand, build out the whole exact system, and start to get content creators who are going to be A-class players and create great content for you. Like I say, if you like content like this, make sure you like, hit subscribe, drop a comment as well. I'm always checking on them. Like I say, if you put this into practice, you will literally be able to start to build out a network of creators, and you should never realistically run out of content. So let's go into this.
Okay, so this is the landing page / form that creators will always land on to basically start to work with us at the agency. Like I say, I'm going to walk you through in terms of how it is as an agency, but if you're a brand, you can literally take this and kind of just utilize it, change out all the fields in terms of your brand and do exactly the same. So I'm going to be talking from the agency perspective, but I'll show you in terms of how you can do it as an actual brand. So in terms of for this perspective, you want to have somewhere in terms of where people will obviously be able to fill out information rather than going back and forth in terms of email, stuff like this. This should be the first point of call. So no matter where you're kind of finding creators, whether you've got someone who's obviously going on TikTok to find them, going on Instagram, looking on like Twitter or like third party platforms. Again, you want to basically send them all to here, because then what happens is it keeps everything linear, it keeps everything structural, and it makes it so much easier for one person to be able to manage it all. And then again, once you go into the next steps, it makes it all a hell of a lot easier. So in terms of what we do in terms of the form, so I'll kind of walk through what we kind of request. So we obviously ask for today's date. So again, that makes it easy for us to know in terms of when someone's actually applied to work with us and make sure they've not been kind of not spoken to or spoken to and all that kind of stuff. We want the first name and last name. Again, that's just using easy information. The current rate. So again, obviously how much they basically per piece of content. So again, we just want to get an idea in terms of how much they're going to charge. So again, we've got an idea whether someone's going to be expensive. So again, for more expensive brands. And again, so in terms of how we price stuff when we work with actual creators, we don't base it in terms of like per content, because like what we do is we obviously build our content out like in modulated pieces. So again, I'll put a video up here in terms so you can see that process. So again, this is just to get an idea and a ballpark. So again, when we start to negotiate or work with them, it makes it a lot easier for us to kind of know what their kind of price point is for X amount of content. So that's the current rate. We always get a headshot photo. So again, from our perspective, we can easily see who that person is. So again, when we look kind of, when I'll show you shortly, so we can find them easily. Or again, when we send their profile over to a client, again, they can see that person. So again, whether they fit with the brand or not, again, it makes it a lot easier. Then just generic stuff, your email, contact number, straightforward. Gender, again, so again, depending obviously what the brand you're looking for, male, female, prefer not to say. Age, again, we just want to have a bracket in terms of like 18, 24, all the way to 65 plus. Because again, depending again, what brands we're going to be putting them in touch with, we want to kind of know the age. And then location. Again, because we work with brands all across the globe. So again, obviously we have Australia, Canada, Europe, United Kingdom, and United States. So again, get their location, because again, you might just find a creator that's good, but then you can't ship your product to them, for example. So again, make sure the location is always going to be important, because then again, that might be something that you can obviously utilize to say yes or no to a creator in case they might not be needed. From our perspective, we get all our creators to sign the NDA. So again, we send that to them. Again, you can obviously have this or not. You don't need to. So again, the creator just sign this and tick this if they've signed that. We get a portfolio link, always useful, but at the same time, some clients, so some creators have it, some don't. So again, it's always good to have that. And then again, we just want to find a little bit about them in terms of past experience. So again, work done, brands they've worked with, etc. So again, they can obviously talk about that. And then from here onwards, I want to upload UGC. So again, we've got the portfolio, but sometimes some portfolios are not right or not formatted well. So we want to basically say to them, okay, show us your best 2 to 5 videos, okay? And then we just want MP4 format. So again, we want to upload the videos so we can see exactly the work they've done. And again, it makes it easier for us to then, when we are categorizing them for certain brands or anything along the lines of that, if we've not worked with them, we start to have a conversation. So okay, so we know they're working with a lot of skincare brands, then again, we know that we can categorize them for our skincare clients, for example. So again, that makes it easier rather than having to then go through every portfolio, because like I say, we can sometimes be getting on a weekly basis 30, 50 creators kind of like inquiring to kind of work with us and work with the brands we work with. So again, to go through all the portfolios sometimes is a little bit long, but if we can just watch a few videos, it makes it a lot easier. This is something we've added in recently as well, niche you enjoy working with, because then again, we say only select 3, because what you would find if you don't have this in here, they'll just select all of them. So if your brand obviously has just one product, oh, sorry, one niche, you might not need this, but from our perspective, we want to know in terms of what they've worked in or what they enjoy working with. And then just their address for shipping products and anything else we want to know from them. So again, if they want to just like add anything in terms of like, we get some comments back saying, can't wait to work with you, stuff like that, then it's all great. So we have this portion here gets all filled out. And then what happens is, because we use a system called Airtable, well, let's say a management platform called Airtable. So once they fill this out, this then gets sent through to our Airtable, which looks like this here. So we have, like I say, I've hidden some filters here, just again, so you don't see the details of the people here. But again, I'm going to utilize how this looks. So again, you can see all the information in here. So I'll show you in terms of just what the hidden filters are. So again, we've obviously got last name, full name, all this kind of stuff here that you can obviously utilize. And once you have this, it makes it easy to start to work with the actual creators, because then what you want to do from here onwards, as you can see here, we have, for example, right now, we have our verified creators and we have some internal ones in terms for some of the clients we work with. Because then what we do is we send them over to our clients and they can obviously look in terms of the actual creators who they want to work with. But we have like a verified creator list. Right now, this has been edited, but we've got about 30 creators that we work with continually because we know we've worked with them previously, they do good work, and we can obviously, we know they're going to get great results. And then we have then a bigger pool, which are all content creators, which again, they're people who we're not spoken to or they're not gone through our training and stuff like that. And then once they're vetted, we can then put them into our verified creators, because once you get your creators on your list, you want to then speak to them. Okay. So what we'd say is, and again, depending on how many creators you get, but you want someone to basically jump on a quick 10-15 minute call, get to know them, get to see in terms of what they're doing and stuff like that. Because then you want to then say, okay, yes, you're good to work with, we've got work ready for you or not yet. And then again, you want to kind of get them bucketed so they can be utilized for your project going forward. So again, have them there. What we do and what we suggest in terms of, like, say, if you are a brand, have them on like Slack channel, have them in like a community. And again, have a call set up on a weekly basis where you can run through in terms of what's coming up, what's needed, or training in terms of like different styles, stuff like that. So again, having someone in your team who can do that is very good, because then again, you're training these creators to obviously know what is needed from your perspective. And then again, you can obviously help them grow along the way as well. So again, from within here, we've got names. Let's say we have the photo images. So you can see here, the current rates, the gender, age, everything gets pulled into here. We have portfolio as well, which if you want to click on, we can click straight through to this here. And obviously the NDA signed. And then again, we've got work examples. So again, you can see the videos. And again, we just click onto this and get the videos straight up. Anything added, past experience. And again, like I say, niches worked with. So again, because we've got 3, we can see in terms of, okay, we've got a client can obviously for CPG. We know we can go with this here. Again, do you want to add anything extra? So again, some random stuff. I can work, for example, move to Canada in April. So again, all that kind of stuff is really useful for us to kind of then put these into buckets, send them over to our actual clients in terms of, like, say, we create a different view. The client can then see who they want to work with. And then again, that starts the process in terms of for our creator element, in terms of where we can then start to build everything in the background. And then once the creator is selected, we can obviously go and then say, okay, this is the project, this is what we kind of want to work on. So like I say, I recommend going away and doing something like this. Like I say, we use Airtable, but you use anything, whether it's like Notion, Google Docs, how it all pull through. But you want to have a place where you can obviously capture all your creators who you're going to be working with, and all your creators who are going to be kind of like on the subs bench, I like to call it, in terms of you can obviously pull in or call in when you need help, or maybe have a certain product. Because again, say for example, we have these 30 creators we work with all the time, but sometimes we get a project that might come along that might need someone who needs a dog, for example, or someone that might need to be pregnant, or someone who might need to have a certain requirement. We get them all the time, but we might not necessarily be working with them creators on a regular basis. But again, we know we have a pool of creators who we've actually spoken to, who actually put them through our training. They've come to obviously like some of our training calls as well. So again, we know, okay, for example, I know that Alice has basically got a dog. Let's utilize her. We're not made work for yet, but we know she's gone for our training. So we can obviously take the hit to kind of work with her. Okay. That's how it works. Build this out. It's going to make everything so much more easier. And actually, you can never run out of creators. So again, you can utilize different angles, different creators, and it makes it all so much easier.